Hello to all you beautiful and amazing sports fans out there. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Coach Ed, and this is Coach Ed's Amazing World of Sports. Now, today I wanted to talk about this week what I saw, what I read about the New York Football Giants OTAs and the things that are happening. Just little things, nothing too extreme. The first thing I just wanted to talk about is the mentality that I'm garnering from what's going on. I know this week we had a fight. As a coach, I expect it. I do, especially in the early part of the season in camp. It's going to happen. Um, Guys are fighting for their position. They're fighting for their livelihood. They're fighting to be noticed by the coaches. They're fighting to make a name for themselves. They're fighting to show their teammates that, they have what it takes to help be a contributor to the football team. So, Roche and Corey Cunningham getting into it. Hey, I expect it. Roche, you're a brave man because Corey Cunningham, that's a big man. That's definitely a big man. But hey, you're in the NFL. You're in the big boys league. So, that's going to happen and you got to step up, So to fans who are going crazy over it, settle down. It's going to happen. We've seen it for so many years. It's not like these guys are, going all out and, after practice, they're still going at it. They're going into all types of fisticuffs. They're disrespecting the New York Football Giants name. No, it's just, it happens. It is going to happen, so the coaches will get a grip on it. They'll manage it. And you know what? They move forward. And so far, that's what it seems like has happened. So, you know, do I expect maybe another one, maybe two during training camp or preseason? Yeah, I really do. Heck, you might even see during preseason that guys get into it with the opponents from the other team. You know, if you're fighting for your job, you're going to do whatever you need to do to make sure that you earn your position and you keep your position, because that's putting money and food and a roof over your table. So you got to do what you got to do sometimes. So, it's not a big deal to me personally as a coach. You just move forward. Now, the players themselves, it seems like they're buying in. They're buying into the mentality that the coaches are establishing, and that's a good thing. They're out there working hard, working on their skill sets, doing whatever they need to do. Yes, there are some guys who are tweaking some things. I mean, I read, some fans getting really concerned about Thibodeau. No, it happens. Look, and the Giants are smart. It's, look, you just felt a little twinge or something, shut him down. He's going to be the starter. He knows it. We know it. Yes, you want to work on, his mental aspects and, making sure he's in the right positions, at times. But, you also don't want to put him out there where he does more harm to himself and to, the organization long term. Because after last year, to me, this was the 4077 MASH unit. Any old school guys, people out there, exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want to see that again this year. Let's be smart, let's be practical, make sure we give the guys all the opportunities and make sure that they care for their bodies so they can go out there and be the players that we think that they're going to be. I've loved the makeup and the change in, what I've seen in this organization. Joe Shane has done a good job in, acquiring, players, especially when he came in with, such a badly mismanaged salary cap and organizational structure overall. So for him to, change the culture and have guys really buying in, I think it's a good thing, a very, very good thing, and going forward, I think he's going to continue to do that. Coach Dable, I think he's doing a good job of setting the tone, developing good relationships with the players, and also helping to make sure we give the players the proper tools to develop their skills so they can go out there and produce. Now, offensively, with everything that I've seen, if everyone plays up to their potential, or their abilities, and avoids major injuries offensively, I think we have the tools to definitely have an explosive and a dynamic offense. Dable definitely wants to push the ball downfield, and have explosive plays. And I think, with Daniel Jones, if you use him right, if you develop him right, he can be put in that position to, capitalize on the tools that are around him. Well, whether in the running game, developing that running game and getting Barkley, working, attacking the outside on outside zones, on occasion hitting up inside with a good inside zone. But, if we want to put in a power play every now and then, that's good. Building the offensive line, especially with the left guard and maybe the center position, depending on, what you do to, have the good bodies in camp, but left guard, I think is going to be a good fight with the guys that we have there with Garcia, Uzudo, and Lemieux. I think they're going to definitely push each other, and it's going to bring out the best. And we're going to end up building up that continuity and get ourselves in position and ready to get out there for game one against the Tennessee Titans. So I definitely think that offensively overall, we can definitely be a very good, if not explosive offense. Now, yes, I do know everything is contingent upon Daniel Jones, his development, him playing smart, him playing confidently. I mean, no matter what you do, whatever position, even as coaches, you have to be confident in football. Any sign of lack of confidence, it becomes a weakness, and it just goes downhill from there. Daniel Jones has to play confidently. He has to not stress over a turnover because it happens. It doesn't matter if you're quote unquote the GOAT in Tom Brady, like Joe Montana, or even Baker Mayfield or Daniel Jones himself. Turnovers happen. What do you do? How do you handle it? And how do you move forward? And how do you improve so this way it doesn't happen again? During practice, yes, that's the time to work on things. That's the time to develop yourself. But you also develop, relationships with your receivers. His rookie season, who was he so in tune with? It was Darius Slayton, because they worked together on the second unit and developed a level of continuity. Well, that's what he has to do right now. Whether it's Galladay, whether it's Kadarius Toney, Wan'dale Robinson, or when Shepard comes back, Shepard or Darius Slayton, whoever it is, build the level of continuity, so that way, you guys are on the same page. Sometimes a simple look will tell you what you guys will know what each other is doing. Also within the scheme, knowing where your checkdowns are, whether it's Barkley or any Breida or any other running back, or your tight ends that are out there. I think we have a decent tight end grouping that's out there. And as long as guys are catching and securing the ball, I think it's going to go a long way to helping the offense. Because then with what we have offensively, if defenses are not going to be able to key in on just one position or one person. So this way with Daniel Jones, if we can just spread it out and let the playmakers make the plays, I think that we'll be perfectly fine. And I think that our offense will be developed into an explosive offense. Defensively, with Wink Martindale, I love his system. Myself personally, I've coached very similarly to what he has. Whether it's a zero coverage or a single high, mixing up your coverage. That doesn't matter if it's a cover two or even quarters coverage. Whatever it is, put it in there. Make sure that, this way you're aggressive with it. You send your blitzes, send movement, have movement, check, roll out of one coverage to the other between pre-snap and post-snap. But I think Wink Martindale will definitely put the guys in the right position as he learns the players and their skill sets to be successful out there on the field of play. And then defensively, I think that, we go out there and play with an attitude, and you play with that chip, and you play with the mentality that I'm dictating to you. You're not telling me, or you're not dictating to me. I'm going to force you to, try and cover up your weaknesses, because that's what we're going to attack, and not take advantage of your strengths. then I think that, defensively, we would definitely be in the right position. So I'm excited about that, even with special teams. I definitely want to see the special teams because I think we'll be able to put ourselves in position and change field position and momentum, and even develop a level of explosiveness on special teams, blocking a punt or a field goal here or there and taking it to the house, anything like that. So again, I'm excited. I'm very intrigued, but I'm also not naive to the fact that, it may be a little struggle. Don't want to see it. I want to see, a top level performance competing for a playoff position, but I'm also prepared to say, it's still a rebuild, it's still a rebranding, it's still a regathering, however you want to classify it. And it's still going to take a little bit of time, whether it's a year, whether it's 2 years. So I'm prepared for that mentally. And hopefully a lot of you Giants fans will do the same thing. So that's just me with, talking a little bit, especially with the OTAs, the excitement. One thing I didn't talk about is the pass that Daniel Jones threw to Wan'dale Robinson. Now, I know a lot of fans are, number one, they were picking at, the ball. The ball was wobbly. The ball was a duck. However you want to categorize it, it's practice. Guys, it's practice. You're working on your timing, your continuity. You're working on all of that. If I'm looking at that from a coaching perspective, yes, I'm going to, look at his mechanics to see why the ball was a little bit wobbly. If some of the velocity was lost, what was the reasoning? So we can work on his mechanics. Daniel Jones can throw a nice deep ball. We've seen it in the past. So please do not act like he's not capable of doing that. But that was practice. Now, was the goal to have the ball inside? Then he achieved it. It also went towards the back end of the end zone. So if I'm looking at that, then with the defensive back behind Wan'dale Robinson, then that tells me that defensive back could only go through the receiver and it draws a penalty. So that's a success for the offense, for the quarterback and the receiver. Also, if it's towards the back of the end zone, even if Robinson wasn't able to get there, that ball goes out of or goes towards the back of the end zone. And that means that the defense was not going to be able to catch that ball. So to me, those are success. That's a success in itself in terms of where the ball is, the position in terms of the player, the defensive player. We also don't know if this was just an offensive preference work. And what that means is defensively, you're giving them a look, you're just working with them, but it's supposed to be allow the offense to be successful in what they're doing. Yes, you want to give it a little look. You want to work at it, and if you can deflect the ball, deflect the ball. If you can intercept the ball, intercept the ball, but it's geared toward the offense. We also don't know if it was a defensive preference type of situation, and Wan'dale Robinson beat Aaron Robinson. We don't know. We just need to settle down and trust the process. For me, that looked like it was geared towards the offense, and the ball was right where it needed to be. Some minor details that you want to work on, yes. But to sit here and go crazy because the ball was wobbly, if you look at any quarterback who's ever played the position, they've all thrown what you call a wobbly ball, whether it's short, whether it's deep, whether it's intermediate, whether it's a direct line or towards the sideline, it doesn't matter. Seen it thousands of times. And don't go crazy over it initially, especially not in practice. Especially not in practice. Let it go, ladies and gentlemen. So, hopefully, we'll see more improvement from there. We'll see the offense grow. We'll see guys get confident. And hopefully we'll be singing a different tune come the end of the season. So if you guys like this video, do me a favor, like it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Let's help grow this channel. Help make this one of the best podcasts that are out there, because I can't do it without you. So I want to thank you again for tuning in. Thank you for showing love to Coach Ed's Amazing World of Sport. And I look forward to giving you some more shows later on. And in sports, I always say, turn it on and turn it up. Peace and blessings.